What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. If you're tuned in to this channel, you're tuned in and locked in live to Just Life with me. I am the host of this channel, Zaria. And guys, today's video is definitely going to be a little difficult, but I'm gonna get through this. So to start off just by saying thank you for all my new subscribers and returning subscribers. I love you all. If I haven't got a chance to interact with you guys, I'm actually going to do a Q&A so you guys can get to know me better. And some upcoming vlogs are definitely on the way. As you guys know, I just became a mom for the second time. If you haven't watched the birth of our daughter, Zimmy, go ahead and click off this video and go watch that one. This one will be here when you get back. I also am a wife. As you guys know, you guys have also seen that. And I have some bonus kids that I love and adore. So yeah, to the meat and potatoes of this video, though, of this broadcast, as you can read by the title, it does talk about narcissism. And in particular, a narcissistic mother-in-law. So I've been married 2.5 years, going on 3 this upcoming April 2023. But I've been with my husband for 4 years. And like I stated in my video, The Real Deal Holyfield of My Marriage, if you haven't watched that video, go watch that one. I talked about the dynamics of my marriage and how I really don't get along with my kids' mothers. But I don't think I talked too much about my relationship with my mother-in-law. And it wasn't until recently that I got the courage to kind of like talk about it, because it literally it's just been it's a bad dynamic. And what I mean by that, and I'm gonna elaborate on that right now. Hey Mia, my cat is trying to get all of my attention right now because she don't get it because of the baby. Yes, I know, furball. All right, guys. So basically, I have a narcissistic mother-in-law. And if you're not familiar with narcissism, I know people just throw that word around. I actually encountered my first narcissist last year. And it was through a friendship that I encountered it. Now, here's the thing about narcissism. If you're not familiar with personality traits, you're not going to pick up on narcissism. You'll just think somebody is just full of themselves. Narcissism is an actual personality disorder. And many people who find out that they have narcissism, they, some of them get help. But there are a lot of people who don't think that they're narcissists. And so because they don't think that they're narcissists, they don't get that help. And so some of them end up ruining other people's lives and dragging other people down, whether it be through platonic relationships or non-platonic relationships. Or yeah. So my first narcissist, so I thought, was a friend of mine. However, I actually watched a video a while back that talked about narcissists. Actually, the first narcissist you encounter is somebody in your family, in particular, your parents. So why, y'all might ask, like, why are you saying that, Zari? What are you talking about? It's a whole bunch of hoopla. I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. I just said that the first narcissists that you encounter are in your family, particularly your parents, right? So my mother-in-law is not my parent. She is through marriage. She's my mother-in-law, right? But she is my husband's mother and the first narcissist that he's encountered. So there's actually some truth to that. And the way that the narcissist thinks is that they don't think that they're ever wrong. They cannot bring themselves, they're not wired to feel pity towards other people or empathy towards other people, without there being some ulterior motive. One, because there's different types of narcissists, and I encourage you to go do your own research. There's different types of narcissists. But the main narcissist that you're going to come across is the one who does not pity your feelings. Like, they can know that they openly know that they hurt you. They openly know that they're doing things to you that, you know, aren't good. They know that they're causing you pain. And when you bring it up to them and you try to confront them about it, Most of the time they surprised because they acting like they don't know what you're talking about. They love to gaslight, make you feel like you're the crazy one, like you're the one that's going off the rockers and you're off the deep end. But really what it is you pointing out um their indiscretion, you pointing out their flaws, you pointing out to them, hey, I'm on to you. Aha, I got you. I'm on to you. I'm aware of what you're doing. And the moment you um expose them or bring them to the light, then they get rid of you. You're no longer good to them. They go find another supply. But what does that look like when it's your parents, when it's somebody in your family, somebody real close to you? Because when you're in a relationship with somebody and somebody does you like that, it's easy to just get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? To just be wash your hands of them. Or if they get rid of you, then it's like, okay, phew, I'm fine. It's like a weight is lifted off of you. But what happens when that person is in your family? What happens when that person is somebody that close to you, shares the same bloodline as you, right? Gave birth to you, watched over you, nurtured you your life, right? What happens if that person is a narcissist? And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the comments can speak to this. Narcissism is no joke, especially when it is your parents. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've had friends who have been sexually abused, physically abused, abandoned, all of those things. Why? Because the narcissist does not feel like your sadness, your misery, your pain is of their concern. And so a lot of things when you come to your parent and they tell, and a lot of my friends I've talked to them about this. They try to go to their parents about certain things, and the problem is that that person is already a narcissist. That parent is already a narcissist. So they don't feel any empathy or sympathy towards that child. In fact, they think they're lying. They believe that they're lying about it, that they're not telling the truth. It's an instant dismissal of your feelings. And so a lot of people have been emotionally damaged by the narcissist, completely destroyed by the narcissist. And so with my husband and his mother, my mother-in-law, that's always been a dynamic. And the funny story is, ironically, is my husband went through that as a child. And because of other factors and the fact that she is a narcissist, he was ignored. True story. In this type of dynamic where I am the daughter-in-law, it has become apparent to me that even though I am the daughter-in-law and I thought in my head that things would be better for me going through, and I don't know why I thought that, because she's not even like that with her own children, the same thing is happening to me. Saying things behind my back, doing things behind my back, dragging my name through the mud, basically slandering me. And then when confronted about it, there's victim, the victim playing. She's the victim. She's the victim, never the perpetrator. And so our relationship has been kind of like rocky because there's no real love for me as her daughter-in-law. And I'm having a very hard time coming to grips with this newest detail. Not so much new, but like recent detail of her basically denying our daughter. She's was going around saying before Zemi was born that she didn't believe that Zemi was my husband's daughter, that he should get a paternity test. And she said it through a series of subliminal messages. And keep in mind, y'all, I'm not the type of person that one likes drama, two goes looking for it, three stirs it up, and four, I'm not that type of person, period, to just sit around and do stuff to people and then be like, oh my God, what was me when people do something bad to me. I haven't did anything to spark these types of allegations against me. And these types of things ruin your marriage because my husband knows that I'm not cheating on him. But to say those types of things and to come out your mouth and say and feel that type of way when I've given you no reason, no rhyme or reason to feel that type of way towards me, You've just kind of taken it upon yourself, because that's the narcissist in you, to wreak havoc, shame, and hell on everybody else's lives. That's another thing. Narcissists are not happy when you are living the life that they want. Well, sorry, what do you mean by that? That's his mother. Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Usually parents try to live vicariously through their kids. And that's majority of them, right? When they didn't have this, when they were younger, or when they was in that age bracket, they try to live through their kids, okay? And misery loves company. And because she's miserable in her own life, right? She wants to bring misery to those around her, i.e., her kids. And because I'm a spouse, i.e., me. I get it naturally by association. So the biggest problem that I'm having right now is that, how do you forgive somebody that goes against your children? Because I always pride myself and I'm serious about it. And even my children know. I will literally go to bat. I will go to jail. I will go any to the ends of the earth for my children. You can say whatever you want about me. You can do whatever you want to me. But my kids, you don't touch. With your hands and with your mouth. You do not touch my kids. And that's just one of the things that I stick by. You're not going to disrespect my children in my presence and over my dead body. You're just not going to do that. They didn't ask to be here, and they are special to me, and they are my loves, and they are the things that I pride myself on in life. And you will not come and single-handedly destroy my children and make them feel like they not wanted or they not loved, because that's exactly what they are. Beyond measure. I think the problem is that a lot of the relationships between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws have become really, really toxic. Some relationships are your husband's a mama's boy, and he respects his mother more than he respects his wife. So he let his mother run all over the relationship and control the relationship and make all the decisions in your relationship. Meanwhile, you laying down with your wife at night, and y'all dreams and y'all hopes and stuff are going to pieces because that other person is letting their mother control everything, right? Some people, their relationships with their mother-in-laws is like mine, very much just no respect at all. The husband is speaking up, right? The wife is feeling some type of way, and the husband is actually speaking up, but the mother is still disrespectful. So now, boundaries are being made, and that person can't come see, your kids. The grandparents can't come see the kids. Different dynamics. Some people have great mother-in-laws that they get along with. Beautiful relationship. Come over there and help you when you have the baby. Watch your kids for you on the weekends to give you and your husband a break. You and her go out for mani-pedis every other weekend. Beautiful relationships. But unfortunately for me, I have the one where, boundaries were crossed, and my husband had to stand up for the situation. And, she can't really come around our kids. I have this saying, if my family was no good for me when I was younger, right? And if I excluded all the people who I felt like damaged me as a child, right, from around me, and now I have kids, why would I allow them to be around my kids? If they haven't made the change in all these years, and they don't seem to be changing now, why should I allow that toxic behavior around my now children? Because it's a thing called repeating cycles or breaking them. And I believe in breaking them. And I also don't believe in being attached to people who mean me no good. Because if you're not pouring into me, then what are you? What are you here for? If you don't serve a purpose in my life, why are you taking up space in my life? Oh, because we family, I just have to pardon everything. No. It's the fact that we family that makes it worse, because you're supposed to be somebody that I can trust outside of a stranger. And I can't. When you're willing to damage someone's character because you're not happy in your own life, it speaks volumes about you. It speaks bitterness. That's what it speaks. You bitter at everybody and everything because it's what you wanted, what you dreamed of in your life, but you never got. And so now you want to wreak havoc and hell on everybody else. Not fair. It's not fair at all. My relationship with my mother-in-law is very damaging. I mean, when my husband told me that I was in the car driving down the street, coming back from an appointment for breastfeeding. So, just a little backstory, guys. My first daughter, Amara, she's 7 now. When I first had her, I was 18, and they weren't really giving us the information about breastfeeding that they are now. Um, and so a lot of stuff I learned from just searching the internet and stuff like that years later. But it took me to having Zimmy to actually, have the knowledge and stuff that I need, the resources and stuff to actually be able to breastfeed my daughter. So I didn't get a chance to really breastfeed with my first child because I was 18 and I gave up, and it was hard and nobody encouraged me to do it. So I went straight to formula. So with this one, I was very excited to learn how to feed my baby from me and not have to give her so much formula. Now, don't get me wrong, from time to time I give it to her, but that's just because mamas get tired when they breastfeed. And I do it a lot, and I have a lot of discipline, and I try not to go to it as like my go-to. But I give it to her every now and then. Like if we want to go and we've been out for a bunch of hours and I don't want to just pop her, on me right away, I give her a bottle. But I went to a lactation specialist, and they are people who kind of like deal with breastfeeding. They are experts in the breastfeeding. And the lactation specialist helped me latch my daughter on. So make a long story short, I was coming home from that appointment. I was so excited and fired up, y'all. Oh, I was so fired up. I was so happy. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got Zimmy to latch. So happy that she was latching on. Good. Now I can feed my baby, save some money, and save my sanity a little bit. Because I ain't got to worry about all these things with this formula coming up and blah 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 blah. So my husband called me. I click in on him. I say, hey baby, how you doing? What's going on with you? And we get to talking, and he says, Zaria, I didn't want to tell you this. I said, what? He said, my mother called me. I said, yeah, what's wrong with your mother? He said she called me and she got to talking to me, and then she brought up the fact that some people need to get DNA test. I said, are you serious right now? Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, there's no way possible that she's okay. I said, there's nowhere possible that she's still saying this stuff. There's no way possible. He said, I didn't want to tell you, baby, but I didn't want it to be no secrets between us. But this is why she didn't, you know, um, pick up the baby when she came around and stuff like that, because she don't believe that that's my daughter. I said, we've been together all these years. We've been married almost 3 years. This woman has did nothing but come up against me and slander my name. And I have did nothing to her but try to give her the utmost respect and leniency, because anybody else I probably should have went off on her a long time ago. But I respect my elders, and I was raised by my elders. My grandparents basically helped raise me part of my life. So I don't do all of that. I'm about to get up in your face and try to fight you and all this other stuff. No. Even with it being as disrespectful as it has been, and trust me, it has been hard to not say nothing, I have still maintained being respectful because I was raised right. But I literally broke down and cried. I had a full on I just cried, y'all. I cried like a baby. And I'm pretty tough, and I can usually take a couple punches, but I think that one was to my gut. And it really hurt. Because I've been through a lot in my pregnancy. I was depressed a lot during my pregnancy, just because the beginning of my first months, and I actually made a video about that too. Y'all can go back and watch that. But I was talking about like how I couldn't eat for 4 months, for almost 4 months of my pregnancy. I really couldn't eat, and I was losing a lot of weight, and I was sick all the time, and there was only certain things that I could eat that didn't make me feel sick. And so that'll make anybody feel like, oh man, like it'll make anybody feel down. And so I was going through all this stuff. My mother-in-law knew all of this stuff. Beware of the people who know what you're going through, who know the trauma that you've been through, and then commits to creating more trauma in your life. Beware of them people, because those people, they'll sit back and listen to all of your stories, everything that they know negatively affected you, and they will turn around and use it like a bullet, and shoot it right at you. Everything that you just said to them, they will take it and run with it and use it against you. They'll put you in the field with no armor on and just start shooting at you, because they know that's the one thing that they know your weakness now. Now that they discovered your weakness, they will use it against you like snakes in the grass, just waiting for your annihilation. And so with that, I was just like, you know what? I told my husband, he was like, Zaria, I really didn't want to tell you this, but I didn't want us to have anything. I said, David, that really hurts. He said, how do you feel about that? I said, it really hurts. What you mean how I feel about it? I said, if you could see my face right now, you would know how I feel about it. I said, that really, really hurt. And I just could not talk to him without breaking down. I'm like, what have I done to her to make her feel like she has to spread these rumors about me or be this nasty towards me? I have not done anything to you to make you have this animosity towards me. Nothing. I've only been good to your son. I've always been good to your son. We have our ups and downs, and we argue like most couples. That just makes us more real than fake. But I've never gave you any type of room or an inch to think that I was cheating on my husband, to think that I was even that type of woman, even while we were dating. Everybody that knows me know I love my husband's dirty underwear, okay? To pieces. I've never once gave her that idea in her head to say, oops, Zarya might be cheating on her husband. That is adultery. I did not go through getting married, okay? Backstory, I took my implant out after being on birth control for 6.5, 7 years. So my first daughter has been my only child for 7 years. When I was 18, I made the conscious decision to go on birth control because I did not want any more oopses. I wanted my next child to be with my husband, and I made that my business. When no Pookie's gonna get my hand and tell me, hey Zaria, I love you. You look so good. Come jump in the bed with me. Next thing I know, I got another illegitimate child. I said, nope, not gonna happen. My next child gonna be with my husband. Period. And if I hadn't met my husband, I wouldn't have had nor kids because I would have still been on my birth control. So my daughter Zemi was planned. We planned her from the T, from the time we got married till now. We planned her all the way back in 2020. We planned our child. I had to actually have surgery to remove my implant because it got stuck in my arm. It shifted and they could not find it. So after I underwent that, I didn't think I was even going to be able to have another child because I've heard of some people being sterile after having those implants. So God really blessed my life and gave us our daughter. And we prayed for her and we fasted for her. And the problem that I have with my mother-in-law is that one, she don't know all of these things, but even if she did, she would still find a way to still come up with some nasty um comments and sly remarks. And I'm just not here for it. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. I don't understand where I go from here with her. Because as much as I love and respect her, I just can't I can't deal with any more of the backbiting. I can't deal with the slander, y'all. That's just not my character. And I feel like she's talking to whoever will listen about me and dragging me through the mud. And now, instead of apologizing, she's kind of trying to like do things for my husband because she knows that in doing things for him, it comes back around to us, to me and the kids. And I don't want to hold this grudge, and I don't want to be hateful, and I don't want to be spiteful. I don't want to be none of that stuff. But I do feel like she has crossed some lines, and some things are just hard to come back from. Because how do you forgive somebody who comes against your children? Is it okay to just let somebody who made themselves your enemy remain your enemy? Or should you love them and keep them at a distance? Because I still feel like both of them is one and the same. I feel like I can love you and keep you at a distance, but I'm still gonna be seen as holding a grudge against you. Does anybody ever encounter that? Like you've encountered that before? Like you I love you, but from a distance, but then people still make you out to be bitter. Like, oh, you must be angry at that person still because you're not letting them come around. No, I'm not. It's not that I'm not letting them come around because I'm angry. No, I'm not angry. It's just that I don't want them around because they already proved themselves to be not good for my space, and I just should be able to control my space. But I battle with that though, because you got people who will still make you feel like you the bad guy even though you ain't did nothing wrong. And that's what my mother-in-law is kind of doing. She's kind of like trying to like play the victim now, and guilt trip me into coming around and forgiving her. And it's not that I can't forgive her. I could forgive easily than most people. That ain't the issue. What it is you've done this more than once. This is not the first time that I've heard this come up. Since this was even before I even got pregnant, way before I got pregnant. She made a comment to my husband about not having kids with me because I would put him on child support and all these other ridiculous theories that she came up with. And I just told my husband, I said, at some point your mother has to understand that she's crossing the line with us. She's too invested in y'all business, too invested in it. She's crossing lines that she should not be crossing. And it's just, at this point, it's just not acceptable. Like, when do you say, hey, I can't be around toxic family members because, cousin Ray Ray is always causing fights. Every time we have a barbecue, he get drunk and want to act a fool. Or Auntie M is always over here gossiping about people and talking about people and then smiling in their face every cookout. Like, when do we get rid of those people? When do we say, you know what? I'm gonna just be over here and y'all be over there. I'm gonna just do my thing. I'm gonna just do me and y'all do you. Because I don't have to be around just because, and neither do, and that person should not be around in your space just because they family. And I keep going back to this because I feel like this is the trend where other people, outside people that know your parents, like a friend of a family, or people that don't know the situation, they always trying to tell you, oh, you like, it's almost like they trying to encourage you to go back to the same toxic mess that you left. Knowing daggone well they wouldn't, but they're gonna encourage you to do it. It don't make sense. And I've had that happen. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Why do I have to be the bad guy for somebody else's wrong choices and them choosing to do me wrong? Why am I the bad guy because I choose now to not keep letting you walk over me like I'm a rug or something, like I got a welcome sign on my face? So because I set boundaries, sometimes I can be made to be out to be the villain, to be the bad guy. But she is denying our baby. She denied our baby. She told my husband some people need to get blood tests, drop it subliminals. And my husband was like, I know that Zimmy is my daughter. Why would you even say those types of things? And the reason why she said that is because she herself is not sure about a lot of the decisions that she made in life. Gotcha. Like, people that love to sprinkle doubt on other people, they really got some doubts themselves. It wasn't appropriate. It was poor taste, poor timing, just poor everything. Just terrible. And I can't even tell you where it's originating from because I haven't done nothing to this woman. I promise you, on my kids. I have not done nothing to her. So if you've ever encountered a narcissistic mother-in-law, this video is for you. This video is for you. Or a narcissist friend, or I'm pretty sure y'all can resonate. Somebody in this chat can resonate with the fact that it's just too much to deal with. They can drain the life out of you, literally. That's what narcissists do. They drain the life from you. Anytime you happy, they gonna find a way to destroy it because the attention is not on them. They are the people that start the conversation off as, man, you won't believe what happened to me today. Or they instantly, they don't even say hello to you when you answer the phone. They just start ranting and raving about everything that's happening to them. Very self-centered, self-focused. A funeral, right? You go to a funeral. And clearly you at that funeral for that person that died, right? But that narcissist gonna make that funeral about them. Get married and they not married. They gonna make your wedding. They gonna make everything regarding your wedding miserable because it's not on them. The attention's not on them. Somebody's not paying attention to them. They're gonna find a way to, you know, come up against you, out you for something, call themselves exposing you for something, and it ain't gonna have no rhyme or reason as to why they doing it. They're just gonna do it because why? It's the attention is not on them. They not getting married. They jealous. The party's not about them. The conversation's not about them. So they're going to find a way to shift it to fit their ego, to fit their personality disorder. And I bet you the narcissists that you've encountered, they're never going to tell you, hey, I'm a narcissist. Nobody just walks up to you and tell you they're a liar. Nobody walks up to you and tell you they're a cheater. So a narcissist is if you don't know the signs of it, it's hard to distinguish. So that's it, y'all. I'm off my soapbox. I am off my soapbox. I going forward have just decided to distance myself for this point being from my mother-in-law because I really want to remain respectful and I really want to keep my sanity and I refuse to be around people who never meant me no good, never meant my husband no good, and won't mean our kids any good. With that being said, God protect your children. Guys, protect your children. Stop letting them around them toxic folks. Mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, your family, the rest of the family, it don't matter. Stop letting them folks around your kids. When they didn't mean no good to you as a child, they ain't changed since you was a kid, and they're not going to change for your kids. The only influence your kids should ever be around should be yours. Be careful who you let influence your kids and be careful who you let around your kids. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this live broadcast. I'm going to try to do some more of these because I'll be having a lot of different thoughts. But go ahead and leave me some comments down below. I actually left some questions that I have for you guys to answer that I asked myself. And I just want to get y'all opinion on some things. And maybe we can do like another broadcast where I read off somebody's comments and, react to them. All right, guys. Love you. Have a good day.